Hey everyone, it's always me, Johnny, and today we're gonna talk about this, the OnePlus 9 Pro. I've had it for a few days now, and so I'm gonna throw some first impression on this new top smartphone. Without wasting any time, let's go to the video. So let's start right on and talking about design of this phone and also the form factor. The color that I've choose is this stellar black, and it is very cool. Maybe you cannot see it very well from the camera, but it is very cool because it kind of reminds me the graphite mineral. So it is this strange matte finish. It is very good for the fingerprint because it is of course matte, and so there's no fingerprint on the back of this phone. It is a little bit slippery, but for its form factor, you can hold it in your hand very well if you have like medium-sized hands, and it is pretty slim if you compare it to maybe other phones like maybe my Xiaomi Mi 11, that it is a little bit wider. And so talking about design, of course, we can talk about the lateral switch, we can call it, so the OnePlus switch that we have on the side. I don't know why nobody copies this switch, because it is very useful in many situations, and actually outside of the iPhone, of course, that it is not in the Android world, nobody uses these switches on the side, and I don't know why, because it is very cool. And one thing that I can say on this switch here on the 9 Pro, it's a little bit more precise than the 8 Pro if you want to compare it with that. And also it is not too much loose as it was on the 8 Pro, at least on my 8 Pro that I had. Here it's a little bit hard, and so it is for sure a better thing to have. The display is a 6.7 inch display, and it is of course Quad HD, and it is 1300 nits of peak brightness, and it is pretty good actually, and the color are great. And make sure, if you buy this one, make sure to go in the calibration tab of the color of your screen, because in default is set it to vivid color, and they are actually really vivid, so they are maybe too much fake. So I suggest to put them on natural because they look more natural, of course, and it is better if you want to see like real colors and not fake colors. For the rest, it is a great display, like the most of the smartphones right now. It has a very fast response time, and it has the curved edges that you can find on the top smartphone. One thing that I have to add right here is that the peak brightness, it is actually good, but if you compare it maybe to like my Mi 11 that I have right here, the Xiaomi, you can see the differences between the direct sunlight, because you can see that the Xiaomi is a little bit more brighter than this one, but it is nothing to worry about, of course. There is this difference, and so I'm gonna tell you, so keep that in mind. Under this beautiful display, we have, of course, the fingerprint sensor, and it is optic like in the most of the Android phones, apart from the Samsung, I guess, that it is ultrasonic. And here, in my opinion, it is one of the fastest that I've tried on the Android world, and it is very reliable. It's working pretty much anytime that you have to unlock your phone. One thing here that it is pretty negative, at least for me, I don't know if it's something that you can get used to it, but you can see that the fingerprint sensor is just located too low on the screen, and so it is not a natural position for your thumb. Actually, the normal phone, you have the fingerprint sensor pretty much right here, you can see it, and this one on this OnePlus, it's right under there, and it is not too handy to put your thumb on there, but it is working very good. So performance, talking about that, I mean, we have pretty much nothing to say because it is a top phone, of course, and so it has the top hardware that you can find right now in any smartphone. So you have Snapdragon 888, of course, and you can choose between 8 and 12 gigabytes of RAM, and you have of course the fastest storage that you can find on the smartphone world. So the performance are of course very good in any situation, and here it is combined of course to an awesome operating system. There is, I think, one of the nicest skins for Android, and it is of course Oxygen OS, so one of the most customizable softwares for Android in my opinion. And also I have to say that you have to like of course the Android stock experience, because it is pretty much Android stock, but it is really smooth. It doesn't have any bug at all, so the system is working pretty good. One side note that I have to make here on the Oxygen OS, and I thought it was only a problem that I had on the OnePlus 8 Pro, and it is when you receive a message from any of the message app that you have on the phone, you just click the notification, and then before you can just type your message, it happens that I have some lags, and so it is not like so snappy like it is in any other situation, and I don't know why I have this problem, and I have it also here on the 9 Pro. So if you have also this problem, or also if you noticed something similar on your OnePlus phone, just leave a comment right there, so let me know your experience. For the rest, of course, you have a really smooth experience. So for the battery, you have a 4500 milliampere battery that is like splitted in two. So you have like two batteries in this phone that can take of course advantage of the super fast charger that it is 65 watt, and it's called of course warp charger for the OnePlus model, and I can assure you that it is blazing fast. Of course, you can charge like your phone to full battery in like few minutes, and it is pretty cool and very useful. Talking about the most important thing, and so the screen time of the battery, you can get like pretty much the same amount of hours that you can get on any other top smartphone right now. So I'm talking about like 5 to maybe 7 hours, if you're lucky maybe 8. I've never had a day with 8 hours of screen time, so maybe if you are just using the phone like few times in a day, maybe you can do more than 8 hours, but it is pretty much in line with every other top smartphone. And in my experience, of course, depending on the usage of the phone, I've get like a little bit more than my Mi 11. So as I was saying, like pretty much in line with every other top smartphone that has of course the Snapdragon 888 inside. Talking about the audio, we have a double speaker system here. You can hear the down speaker pretty well, and the top speaker isn't too much powerful, but it is there. So it is dual speaker, but not so powerful. You can see clearly your audio, but the volume, it is not too loud. So cameras, this is a hot topic for me to test on these new smartphones. And here we have of course the collaboration with Hasselblad, so one of the best camera manufacturer, I mean, since a lot of years. And so there is a lot to say about cameras, but I think I have to make a separate video on that, because if I make only one video with everything inside, it is too much long, and so maybe it could be a very boring video. So I'm gonna make a separate video on this specific argument, so we can talk in depth about cameras and maybe do some comparison between other top smartphones. And so if you don't want to miss that video, just subscribe right now if you haven't already, because it will be very much appreciated. So I guess I'm gonna throw some conclusion of this first impression, and what can I say is that OnePlus this year made the classic, we can say, OnePlus. So flawless speed, great design, great build quality, and of course we still have some little problems here and there. And I think, in my opinion, for this high price that this specific model comes at, I think you can find maybe something more, or maybe for less you can find the same experience as this OnePlus 9 Pro. Maybe if you want to have the OnePlus experience, of course, and if you want the top OnePlus experience, of course you have to buy this one. But if you want only a normal OnePlus, you can just buy the normal OnePlus 9. That I think it is a pretty good choice if you want to spend less, and pretty much you have the same results as this one in my opinion. But I will test this more and see if there is something more to say, apart of course from the camera side that I'm gonna tell you in the next video probably. So that being said, I hope you liked this video, and don't hate me because I have to do another video on this one only for the cameras. And if you liked this video, just hit a like down below because it will be very much appreciated. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, just consider doing it right now because it will be great. And anyway, for now, that's it. So I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.